Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So if you haven't been living under a rock lately, you understand that a good portion of California is currently on fire in the LA County area, and my heart and prayers go out to those affected. But in terms of the political consequences that are going to come from this, it does seem as if there's been a lot of focus and talk about Gavin Newsom and his weak leadership surrounding this whole ordeal. And while, he's trying to say, oh, all the criticism of me is just like this partisan criticism, and while that might keep, some Democrats at bay and prevent them from criticizing the poor leadership, which is exactly what California has. If you look at like Florida, for example, or a lot of these other states that aren't controlled by like environmentalists, they do things like controlled burns to make sure that they could possibly go out there and prevent things like this from happening. But instead, no, we don't exactly see that. And now you see wildfires that are out of control. They're not started by, climate. They're started by mainly people or things happening, poor planning, you name it. And they just don't have the resources to exactly deal with something like this. And it's a problem, and people are blaming the leadership, and even Newsweek, liberal media, is taking note of this, and they're saying that these wildfires are going out there and they are torching Gavin Newsom's presidential ambitions, which, again, we talk about the Democrats in 2028, and we're going to get into their bench, but it's already thin. Who exactly do they have that they can point to and say, okay, that's our next guy? Because Republicans, now they have it with J.D. Vance. Of course, we don't know what the next 4 years are going to hold for Trump's presidency, but unless, there's some unmitigated disaster, 180 negative turn of events, J.D. Vance is going to be that nominee for the Republicans in 2028. And that we know, give it probably an 80 to 90% certainty that is going to be the case. The Democrats, on the other hand, they don't really have anybody. So much so to the point where if you look at the 2028 polls on the Democrat side for the Democrat primary, Kamala Harris is winning all of them. And you could say that's name recognition, it's still the come down. And that may be true to a large extent, but still it just shows how there's no clear leader to the point where a good chunk of Democrats, a near majority in some of these polls, want to run somebody who just lost, who gave the Democrats their largest electoral defeat all the way back to 1988. You're talking almost 40 years. So when you look at that, it's like, this is not exactly great news for the Democrats, because now you have somebody who might have been able to carry that torch. Democrats have kind of, in terms of the polling, he's in second place in a lot of these polls. He's somebody that a lot of people say can carry the torch. He tries to do this, weird presidential LARP where he says, oh, I love Trump supporters. And then he just goes on some sociopathic rant about something else in the process, and a lot of people may get fooled by it according to a lot of these political operatives, but still, it does seem as if he would already have been weak in a general election. Now it seems as if Democrats are even in more disarray now because they don't really have a clear leader. They really don't. And I always thought Newsom was overrated, but Democrats really clung to this guy as, oh, he's like the next big thing. He's the next nominee. When Biden was, under fire for his debate performance and people were talking about, will he get replaced? A lot of people instantly thought, oh, he'll be replaced by Gavin Newsom. And a lot of Democrats thought that would boost their chances. I always thought he was overrated, but now he may be getting a lot of hate as well. To the point where he's just not going to be able to sustain himself on the national stage, because this is something that's in a lot of people's minds, and it's kind of symbolic for the leadership that we've seen in California over the past few decades that have made the state unlivable. People don't want to live there. They're moving out. It used to be where everybody in the nation wanted to move. Now, not so much. In fact, according to U-Haul, they did a study and it showed that California, for the 6th year in a row, the most people left the state of California. Even when you adjust for population difference and things like that, it's still not looking too good for them either. But you look at it, even the liberal media, they're going out there and they're saying that this is not the best look. Whether people want to put all the blame on Newsom, obviously there's blame to go around in the local leadership. There's blame to go around for people like Karen Bass, for example, the mayor of Los Angeles. Still, it's not the best look for Newsom, and you can't escape something like this very easily at the national level. And you're talking about 2028. He wants to throw his hat in the ring. He tries to pass himself off as presentable, a family man, you name it. People call him handsome Gavin because of the hair. He's slick. He's a scumbag, to be honest. He's one of the biggest grifters in politics, but still, he is somebody that the Democrats wanted to run in 2028. And it does seem as if right now he probably still tries to go out there and run because he's a sociopath and he'll try to explain it away. But the chances of him being a successful candidate were already so low to the point where, the bar is through the floor. And it really is. You talk about Democrat leadership overall. This is their bench. They have nobody. Andy Beshear is the governor of Kentucky. And on the national stage, he doesn't have the name recognition to even gain any traction, and he's already just so bland to the point where he likely won't. Then you have Pete Buttigieg, who's smarmy. He's somebody that displayed poor leadership during the East Palestine situation in Ohio a couple of years back. He's somebody that probably runs for governor of Michigan and gets third place next fall. You have Roy Cooper, who, again, is just very generic. Kamala Harris, we already saw that experiment play out. She's a total joke. You have Wes Moore, who, he's kind of got this far left history. A lot of these people do. He might be able to explain it off a little bit. He has maintained some popularity in Maryland. He's an intriguing candidate for them, but still not really all that solid. I think he's overrated by some people, the very few people that are talking about him. Then you have Newsom. AOC, I don't even think we need to get into. But Dean Phillips, he's somebody that ran against Biden. He'll never make it out of a primary. J.B. Pritzker, again, unpopular governor, total joke, not very presentable. Josh Shapiro, you have somebody he LARPs as Obama, and he's this 5'5" white guy. And Democrats kept him off the ticket in 2024. You think they're going to let him on the ticket in 2028? I don't exactly see that happening. He's an overrated governor, and that we know. And when it comes down to the state of Pennsylvania, he faced minimal opposition his entire career. He probably wouldn't even get through a primary anyways. And even if he did, there are skeletons in his closet that may not look so good at the national level if they get outed. And then you have Gretchen Whitmer, who, again, is somebody that kind of has a generic vibe, but then you look into her track record, she's not really attacked on it. She wasn't effectively attacked in a re-election bid. She sent people into nursing homes that had COVID. You had a whole scandal, just like you had in New York. It was not a good look. The bottom line is you have a lot of candidates who are not really all that electable, and so long as Donald Trump has a decent 4 years and J.D. Vance gets the torch, he's probably going to go out there and win, especially because the Democrats don't have anybody. This is the electoral map. You're talking about party registration trends in Arizona, Nevada. Those states probably are not going to flip in 2028. North Carolina also likely to stay in Republican hands. And then you look at a state like Pennsylvania, where Republicans keep surging in the registration. If they win Pennsylvania, and J.D. Vance is somebody that has a Midwestern vibe, he's somebody that is from the Midwest, and also he's the torchbearer for Donald Trump. That's going to get enough of the Trump base out in a presidential election year. I believe that it will. 270 should not be too hard for him to get, honestly, just based off the map, based off of where the trends are. We don't know which states are going to go which way, but the bottom line is that the Democrats have to near run the table against the Republicans. Honestly, Virginia you could put in the Democrat column, but still, based on what's here, Democrats, they need approximately 60 to 70 electoral votes to win the election by a hair. Republicans just need 17 more to get to 269 where they can win in the House. So that kind of just displays where the state of our elections are with the Electoral College. And then you look at the Democrat bench, they don't really have anybody that stands out. Their best bet would be to find their Trump. Find somebody who is out of the box. Find somebody who is not being talked about. Find somebody who might be like a celebrity candidate, roll the dice and see if that person can win. We don't know who that person is going to be, but when we look at the list of potential candidates, you know, it's possible they find a way to win, but their bench is weak, and it's much, much easier to go out there and to defeat a party in an election where their initial bench is weak versus one where their initial bench is strong. And the fact that Kamala Harris is decisively winning every single primary poll that we see. And again, I don't know if she's going to run. I don't expect her to be the nominee. I don't know if the Democrats would let her be the nominee, even though the old guard, more competent Democrats are kind of dying out. You have the new guard that's in there. They never learn from their mistakes. They keep digging the hole. It's really just not looking all that great for the Democrats. And when you have something like this, where you have somebody who might be able to grift his way to a close election because he's such a sociopath, and he's pretty decent at spinning the facts overall, and then this guy's political ambitions are going to go up in flames, no pun intended, it's like, yeah, that's not really the best look, especially when the Republicans just need to win one state based on where the map stands, and they're going to be home free in the election anyways, which, by the way, that state Trump won by 120,000 votes, and Republicans have already gained in the registrations by like a net 80,000 since the election, and the election was only a few months ago. Yes, it's possible that the tables turn. We don't know what's going to happen 4 years from now, but the bottom line is, even for 2028, I'd rather be the Republicans than be the Democrats. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.